So now that we have the elevator servos in, it's time to run the wires through the tube in the fuselage back to the tail. And there's a string on it, just like the wing. So we're gonna fish that string out, tie it to our wires, and pull them through. There's a little rubber grommet inside of here. I spent way too long trying to get them up through there. I've got fat Shrek fingers, so I gave up on that. So what we're gonna do now is cut out the rudder servo opening so we can get everything plugged in and be done with the tail. So now we're gonna take our soldering iron and run it around these edges, seal them up nice, and then get the servo installed and try to get the wire down there somehow. And what that allowed us to do was seal that covering on the inside of that servo opening hole. So we have a nice nice seal there on the covering. And then we'll do like we did on all the other servos, and we'll heat shrink this together and we'll go from there. I'm gonna call this done for the day. All right, so we got the big guns here today. Andy helping out today in the shop. So we put the cowling on, test fit the
total length
of the motor
to get the gap for the between the spinner and the cowl.
Right. And got the right motor mount on, got the holes drilled, nuts on the back, and so up next we're going to run the throttle servo inside the firewall. So we're going to drill a hole right in here so the throttle arm control link can go through there to the throttle servo, and then we'll run a light film of epoxy over all the bare wood and the hole that we make for the throttle linkage.
So we'll tighten everything down as is, verify the fitment of the cowl, and then we'll take it back off and do the throttle.
Sounds good. So we got the engines mounted up, throttle servos connected, got all that situated, and put the mufflers on now. And what I like to do is take that red Permatex and take your paper gasket and just coat that up real nice. Place that on the muffler and then finger tighten it up there. Forgot to do this on the first set, but putting some high temp red Loctite on these. Alright guys, we got a little behind on video, and so I just wanted to catch everybody up with what we got done today. So I mentioned the gasket. I put that Permatex red gasket stuff on the paper gasket. I snug everything up and I let it sit for about an hour, and then I go back in and I torque it up. So those are torqued and nice and snug now. We got the throttle linkage done in there, and we cut a hole in the firewall to run back to the servo mounted on the inside. Got that dialed in for idle and full throttle. And then, but then the rest of the day we spent cutting out the holes for the exhaust. I'm gonna block off the can tunnel. A lot of people leave it open and put the vent in the back. I don't like doing that because almost inevitably every time that covering's gonna come loose underneath the plane. With that blocked off and a large opening like this, I should have no issues with airflow and cooling on the motor. And then the only other thing we got done today, we got the smoke pump installed, the Holy Smoke smoke pump. I got it plugged into the receiver and got it programmed. Got the receiver installed. I put the MPXs in. One thing on these, don't cut the covering right up to the edge of the opening. Cut it with a little bit of an overhang so that when you put this MPX in there, it pushes that overhanging covering back into the hole there and gives you a nice solid seal around the outside of the MPX. Other than that, that's what we got done today, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit.